Hey, you know Mark Twain? What did that twink say? The rumors of my death have been greatly exaggerated. Let's discuss some new makeup releases. It is my favorite time of the year. The time that makeup releases are, what's the word? Creative? Good? Who knows? But really, if you want to inquire after my absence, you can wait till the end of the video for a special news report. I just went to this event with like some of the hottest and coolest bitches I've ever seen in my life. And twice I asked them what they were wearing on their eyes, and they said the Unearthly Cosmetics Gargoyle palette. I want it so bad. It calls to me in a very specific way. Lately, I've been very into blues because I finally accepted a lot of really personal things about myself. Like the fact that I look really good in blue. Fuck! I really am not trying to spend money in this side of the color sphere. Oh my god. Logged onto the website, I was like, oh, $85, that makes sense. No, it was $68, and they're magnetic removable pans. I don't know if I can stop the feelings that are rising in me. Since I saw you last, I had a boob job, and I think all of the willpower was stored in those big ol' things. I'm sorry about the sound of the cars, by the way. I can't do a single thing about it. You would think that other times of the day, possibly it would be quieter. It never is. Anyway, the only reason I am having even just the smallest, littlest bit of strength against this palette is because I really, really, really want the Bride of Frankenstein's Milk Cosmetics palette. I have been thinking about Milk Cosmetics so much that I feel like it's an ex-girlfriend. Depotted a lot of my Smoke Sessions palette, and I threw out the ones that I never used, which was like just one of them. This is filthy, and I have them right here in some of my singles. This is not all of the singles. I fear they are very disorganized. Think about this color story and like the dankness of these tones right here and the brightness and richness over here. I considered buying a brand new version of this palette, but those singles are quite literally like 5 years old. I will say, deeply related to that, I did contact someone on reddit.com to see if they were still selling their, I think it was the Gemini 2 palette. I'll correct myself here if I'm wrong. A lot of Halloween releases are gimmick and novelty, and I don't really mind that. I probably should mind that, but I don't. I think that this palette is so fucking cute. I love their formula. I know that about myself. I love how this palette is set up. I love outside. It's very darling. Wait, I want to show you something. Okay, do you see? Do you understand? I care about this. This is from Out of Print. It's one of my gym shirts. I love it very much. And my friend runs their social media, so I want this palette, okay? It just became available for purchase today, and so I'm gonna call Sephora and see if they're gonna get it in stock so I could swatch it on my own little paws. Because I will not lie to you, I will present a very honest consideration of the swatches supplied for us, and something about them was just a little bit peculiar. You see what I mean? I feel that the sage went a little dark, and as much as I admire that like neon yellow green, I thought at first it was more of like a swampy puke, which I love passionately. So I would really like to just see it, take it in, give it a sniff. If it's only available for purchase online, I'm not so sure about it. Moving on from my passions. Also from Melt, we have the Creature from the Black Lagoon. I'm so happy for the Creature. I know that she's been wanting this for a while. She deserves it. My concern with this one is that the only shade that like I really love is that yellowy green. The other ones I would really struggle to work with on my own face. I think it's fun, and I think if I was much cooler than myself, perhaps like trad goth, this would be cool as fuck. Okay, Stranger Things from Colourpop. Not only will I show it to you here, I also have it with me. I got this in the mail yesterday, and I had heard so many people talking about it in person that I was really hoping it would come. Colourpop doesn't too often send their like licenseship agreements to me, little me, and as you may know, Colourpop's pans are magnetic and removable. I like this. I was excited to see it. I haven't had the chance to play with it. It looks like right here we have one of their like packed glitter formulas. This one right here, Alien Vines, I'm gonna swatch. It was touted as a duochrome. I will say I think that Colourpop's duochromes are a wonderful and accessible thing for people to get to play with, if they aren't too familiar. Is this not the duochrome one? See, you know, that's kind of what I mean. Who's to say? Oh, maybe it's this one. Yeah, I think it's Alt Dimension. This is the packed glitter. This is Alien Vines, and I quite like it. It's very gunmetal. They always have a wonderful formula. Like, there's nothing against Colourpop. It's just that because they want to remain accessible and affordable, the formula, despite being, you know, quite lovely for the price point, isn't as special, vibrant, pigmented, that kind of thing usually. The duochrome, it is Alt Dimension. It's kind of got this teal reflection mixed into this purpley grape background. And again, I will go, see, like, that's lovely. Okay, I'm not gonna swatch this whole thing, but I'm gonna add Castle Rivers to it, to the hand. These are really cool. So much more excited about this palette now. It was kind of hard to see my interest within myself. I'm gonna step outside and get a proper picture of these so you can kind of see what I mean. Colourpop also put this out recently, the After Hours palette. I like it. They snuck in enough glitter and pink for me to be appeased with a neutrals palette. Some shades I'm particularly excited about are Eyes on Me, Worst Behavior, and Slinky Dress, which in the pan looks to be like one of their packed gold glitters that you may have seen in, I think it was Big Mood, but on the hand it definitely has a dual shift into like a pink and even a bit of a green. Go outside and take a picture of my hand for you. This has surprised me. I will be investigating further tomorrow with a clean face and various brushes. Ensley Rain once again wants me destitute without house and home by releasing something beautiful on the first of a month. It is particularly very, very gorgeous, but I do feel free from it in a way that has not quite yet happened with Gargoyle or the Bride of Frankenstein palette. Even though they have like my favorite kind of eyeshadow, that pukey green, I tend to stray away from the darker purples and darker reds. They just don't really suit me. So as much as I admire this release from afar, I am looking forward to seeing looks made with it. I don't feel quite the same like pressure that Unearthly and Melt is putting me under right now. Great news! It looks like Patrick Ta's licenseship contract finally went through with Barbie. Some may say that this release is a year too late. Others may say that they don't like that cream formula that Patrick has. But what I say is, like, cool, you know? Sure. You know what? Sure. Actually, I'm wrong. I'm thinking about the fact that just because I would not naturally gravitate towards this color, and just because I purchased one of his contours with a similar formula and layout and I hated it so much that I threw it away. But there are people who love that formula, and there are people who would look so, so beautiful with this kind of pink. So I'm very happy for them. Nomad Cosmetics has just started teasing their next reveal. They are so fucking on top of things, it's crazy. You know, I really am not familiar with the budget of the system or how popular they're doing. I know that I've been a fan for quite some time, since the Hudson Valley release, and one of my favorite palettes is the Ghost Town palette from them, but we got this about a month ago from them, so it's kind of surprising to me that they're teasing their new release so soon. Isn't this so beautiful and charming? And the packaging, as literally always from them, is stunning. Very, very well made. It's got this like typography texture to it. So while I'm still enjoying this latest release from them, I am looking forward to whatever is about to come out. If you want to see a look made with this palette, you can check out my TikTok and Instagram under the same handle, cowboychels. I forgot some. I loved Gliminatrix's original version of the Nocturnal palette, and so I was absolutely psyched when they released the mini version of it. I do feel like people who are really into independent makeup brands and who are interested in a color story like this one, of which I adore, by the way, I love this color story, are going to be people who have a larger makeup collection and who are in this for the joy of makeup. I'm so grateful that more and more brands are embracing mini palettes because it's conscientious, it's budget friendly, I really like it. Bellebeautebar has their Poison Garden palette. It's very stunning. It is on the pricier end of indies. Beautiful as I think it is reflecting the color story that we're seeing a lot this season. So we're seeing so many different versions of this color story from different brands, and I'm not quite sure that this is my favorite iteration of it. I do really love one particular shade on here that I will highlight for you guys. This kind of like Perry green with a pink shift is so enchanting to me. I love anytime I see it. It's gorgeous. Speaking Speaking of mini palettes, Shellwe Makeup did a collab with Freya 86. It's called the Sombre Garden collection, and it features a mini version of their palette as well. I think this is great. Once again, we are seeing another interpretation of this like very autumnal, spooky almost color story, and I love to see it. I think that this mini palette in particular is wonderful. I think it was like $25, and the size of the pans are perfect for those who are really interested in like the Makeup Forever palettes. They're like this big, and we stick a bunch of small little shit in there. I have a Bizart dark petite mattes. Anyway, it is perfect for that, and I see this being very perfect as like a cornerstone of creating your own color edit in the exact same way. So those are very exciting. I'm happy to see them. I don't want to dive into all of the holiday releases right now because I just, I really want to focus on the Halloween time in my life, but I have been drawn to, possessed by a few of the new holiday launches. So I'm going to talk about just like a sprinkling of them, and those are Fuji's little quad. I love the color story. I love their formula. I love how tiny it is. I always love a quad. I respect what a quad can do. I am always offended by that tiny little brush that they put in. Okay, Pat McGrath is not doing another mothership this year. They just did their like eye palette for the holidays, which is like okay if you insist. Pat McGrath of course has like a really wonderful thing going on with her eyeshadows, but the mothership palettes have like that very special quality and specific to them formula that we do not see in these larger palettes like this, and you certainly wouldn't see for $76 for this many shades. But the swatches look very nice. Danessa Myricks, the one and only, put out her latest Lightworks. I respect it. I think that it is beautiful. I'm looking forward to seeing what is done with it by others. Very still enchanted by the Lightworks 5, so 6 just came out. This is the one from last year. I still really like it, and I think it's even more charming. Okay, you can kind of see the duochromes in the mirror a bit. Yeah, this is just like a really special palette. I think that if I, didn't work in makeup and didn't have the kind of collection that I have, if I could only have just a handful of palettes, this would be one of them. This would be something that I would prioritize and use daily, honestly. This is just my little baby. And if you, like me, are not particularly like really in love with 6, you might be able to get 5 on sale. I've had a year with it and I'm still very in love with it. Our last launch to discuss is for you, the parent of a middle schooler who has no idea what to get them for the holidays because they don't talk to you anymore. They're in their room, they're on that damn iPad, and they're not talking to you. Great news. You can get them the r.e.m. Beauty Wicked collection. I know, it's been tough, but here you go. And don't get me wrong, I do think that there are some interesting color stories here. It's just that r.e.m. isn't really known for their eyeshadow formula. I've seen some good stuff from their like sparkly eye paints, but honestly not for eyeshadow. So while I find these color stories kind of interesting, I'm always in awe when I see people start to express themselves through makeup. So I wonder if the very remarkable, honestly, color story in this will start to influence the youth to more colorful eyeshadow looks. Now that we've had our little chit chat, let's have our talk. I just really do love long form content. I love the opportunity to finish my sentence and take time expressing my like real actual thoughts over something versus being like really concerned about how I can edit something into the fewest words as possible like I have to on TikTok or Instagram. After what happened in October last year, which we are quickly approaching a year of it, I found it like a daily morning process that I haven't, quite shook, but there was also like guilt and shame associated with like how could talking about makeup or books possibly be important right now. But as time has gone on, I think that I've found my footing in the experience of something that can be both escapism and also like a passion and genuine interest that I get to have, I have to mourn and be horrified and just deeply grieve what is happening in Palestine and the Middle East, but I also do get to have a sense of joy in my daily life. And for a long time, it was really hard to reconcile those. I was still posting on TikTok and Instagram because while I do also love them very much, they're also sources of my only sources of income. And so as this was more of like my passion project, it fell to the wayside while I like reconciled a lot of feelings within myself. I also had a boob job. And I had complications from said boob job, and it took me a while to feel well enough to do like the daily grind of my hair and my makeup and all this other stuff. Very, very genuinely, thank you so much for spending this time with me. If you're new to my channel, welcome. If you are back again, hi. I will say yes, absolutely, you can look forward to new videos coming out shortly. I have a few dupe the vibes of the palettes that I just discussed that I can't afford. I also have some book content soon. So all that to say, I love you very much. I'm happy to be back. I'll see you soon. Bye.